ആയിട്ടുണ്ടോ?
നോക്കാം. Element for you ഇട്ടിട്ടുണ്ട്, വന്നിട്ട് ഞാനില്ല.
All the best, Neeraja.
Thank you.
Okay, ready, വന്നു.
Yes.
സുധീറിനെ പണിയിൽ തുടങ്ങാം.
I can't see you guys. Hi everyone. Welcome to our session on career transition. I hope you're all keeping safe wherever you are and are doing fine, both yourselves and at home. In this session, Neeraja will take you through a very interesting topic that is all the more relevant and critical and crucial at this juncture, the career transitions. So you all know the worldwide, the economies and job markets are being disrupted in an unusual fashion by various factors, right? It's not just COVID that is disrupting our economies at scale. The advancements that has happened in artificial intelligence, robotics, and quite a few allied things are creating new paradigms in jobs. So you are very familiar, I'm sure, with the self-driving cars like Tesla, the drone delivery that Amazon is thinking of, and unprecedented levels of automation that is happening knowingly, unknowingly around many jobs that are familiar to us. So in this juncture, you've also heard about marketplace for jobs. You have seen marketplace for applications. Now, I mean, when I say applications, it's mobile apps. Now you see digital marketplace for jobs. Even governments are thinking of creating digital marketplace for jobs. And also you would have heard this term of Uberization of jobs. So all this together has created a new environment in jobs market where the old notion of jobs is going away, and we are all going to embrace change, whether we like it or not. So this is going to be a skills-based jobs. There will be on-demand jobs, and many things like that. There are a lot of platforms that are already delivering these avenues to us. Maybe we are not familiar at this juncture, but listen to Neeraja, and you will learn a lot about what exactly is happening out there and how we should equip ourselves for scenarios that we anticipate or we don't anticipate. So I welcome Neeraja Janaki to start this presentation and conversation around a very interesting topic, career transition. Welcome to you all. Over to you, Neeraja.
Thank you so much, Sudhir, for such a nice introduction. And thank you all. Good evening. I hope I'm audible. Thank you for being here today. As my friend Sudhir mentioned, we will discuss about how systematically one should plan their career or job change. There is no single solution or a common plan for everyone for job transition or career transition. So it's all based on individual needs, but we are going to discuss about a common framework, what to do when you are planning for a job switch or a career transition. So careers are changing, we know. We see people who are doing the same job for ages, for their entire career. So, and there are people who work with the same organization till retirement. We call it a permanent job. But this is not the future. It is not going to be continued. So we'll be familiar, we are going to be familiar with career change in the future, I must say. Now, it's all about, our career, it's changing due to automation. I think I have mentioned this whenever I speak about career and education. So, the fourth industrial revolution, we all know that it's here. So, the artificial intelligence and robotics will be changing the nature of jobs and our work life. It's gonna change in a in a significant manner. So, from now on or in the future, we may use the term work life instead of career, because in future you may start doing a particular job and end up your work life doing some other jobs. So also you'll need to continuously acquire new skills, and you have to be prepared to change jobs many times. That'll be the future. So we should understand the era of permanent or stable jobs are over. Then we are, of course, we are discussing about career transition. What is a career transition, or is a job switch? It's not exactly job switch. We will discuss about it. Here, an individual, due to many reasons, maybe personal reasons, from one job to another job, from one career to another career, they are changing. So it can be from one organization to another organization, from one profession to another profession. So why we do transitional, or why do people change their career? There could be many reasons. So maybe you have better qualifications. You don't need to stay there in such a situation. Then maybe you are planning to migrate to somewhere else, or your company is shutting down. That's an urgent situation. Then maybe some healthcare issues or any other challenges like accidents or physical or emotional or mental issues. So your priority, or your interest maybe change, maybe that's the reason you are planning for a change. Then some people need work flexibility due to some other personal reasons. They may be uh, I'm sorry, there is some sound. I don't know why. Yeah, now it's okay.
Go ahead, Neeraj.
Yeah, thank you. So that's why people opt for career change or career transition. Now, you can switch to any other jobs. It could be you can change from one company to another company or organization. You may start working in another industry. You can change to another sector, like you can go to a private sector from a government sector or to a corporate sector. Sometimes you can change your entire career, like an engineer changing to a business person, or to an artist, or the same engineer can start working in philanthropy. Could be anything. You can go to anywhere you want. Or sometimes some unexpected things happening. For a few days before, there was a news about two Dubai-based pilots started working as butchers since they lost their job in the context of COVID-19. So thus we can say there will be some unexpected condition can cause transition. We're all witnessing now. It's a pandemic, COVID-19. People are forced to leave their job and start finding other jobs, and companies are closing down. So there are some other examples like wars. then some disasters may be happening somewhere, regional conflicts will be there sometimes. We have witnessed recession, then forced migration due to all the above conditions. So such events could lead you to transition. So these are unexpected things, and making you, in a problem. It creates an issue or a stress in your career and personal life. So a transition could be, I told you before that a transition could be in any direction. So broadly speaking, a transition could be voluntary or due to situational demands, as I mentioned just before. But of course, the voluntary transition is always preferred because, we can plan for it. So a pre-planned transition, a pre-planning will help you to make it stress-free. Also, it can be more successful compared to an immediate or a forced transition or an unexpected transition. So when you plan your transition, if you wish to change, if you foresee a change, you can just plan for it, and it is more effective. You should do that. So now we will discuss how to plan for a successful transition. So first of all, from the beginning, you need to do an introspection or a self-assessment. You'll get a clearer picture than how to make it or where to go, what all skills I have. I'll explain about it. First of all, think about your present situation and your current job, whether you're satisfied with that job. Here you need to ask a set of questions yourself, because it's like, why do you want to change the job? Where you were working somewhere, right? So was that, were you able to achieve your goals, your career goals? Or what are the strengths and weakness of the current job? So you have to list all these questions and try to write an answer, try to give an answer yourself. Or you have to assess your office environment, your personal situation, whether there is any conflicts between your personal situation and your office or work or career environment. So all these questions will help you to decide why you should change, or whether you should change. Whether you need a career change. So ask yourself all these questions. So the self-assessment part is really, really significant. Now we will come to skill assessment. There are a lot of skills, which are essential for your career life, your work life. So do a basic skill assessment. We can see there are technical skills and transferable skills. So what is technical skills? We all know it's typically based on your industry, and these are essential to work in a particular sector. It's like your qualifications, educational qualifications, or IT skills, or your particular work experience. These are technical skills that will help you to do a particular set of jobs or to survive in a particular career. Then there are transferable skills. These are essential skills still. It is not specific to any particular industry or any particular role. So if you have good communication skills, good language skills, that's a transferable skill. Or whether you're exposed to multicultural work settings, it's beneficial for you, and you can use it anywhere, any other work settings, and you can better deal with such similar situations in your future. Then you should know what skills you have and what skills you don't have, you need to acquire for your future. So list out all these skills after a self-assessment. Then where to transit, where you want to go, that's an important question. So to switch a sector, you might be planning to go somewhere, to migrate some other country or to migrate some other place or go to another state, uh, or which sector you wish to go or which industry you wish to, change your career to. So whether you wish to get a job within the same industry, or whether you want to shift to a related career, or sometimes you really want to start a completely new career. So that's a bit complicated condition. You have to do a lot of homework still. There are people who wish to change their entire career. So of course, as I mentioned before, there are some people who wish to go to other places, like migrating to another country for better experience. So you need to finalize what is your preference. So you have to give an answer to yourself. Then, if you're planning to relocate, to other place, if it is another country, there'll be some legal issues like migrating. So decide where you want to go. Then check whether they give you a work permit, visa is available, whether they accept your qualifications and you can go and work there, whether they accept it. So some places are have extreme weather conditions, like extreme heat or extreme cold. So consider that too, if you need, if you have any pre-existing conditions or something like that. Sometimes there are countries like countries with high living cost. You should consider that. Then they may speak a different language from yours, so you have to learn a new language in such condition. For example, you may speaking English, but the country they speak in Germany, you need to learn German to survive there for a long term. So consider all these things. Then you should consider security issues. If they are facing conflicts or war or internal conflicts or anything, so there'll be security issues. You need to consider that. Then whether there is better social circumstances than your place. Then another thing is connectivity from your place. So we have seen, during COVID-19 lockdown started, people got stuck in many countries due to connectivity issues. There were no flights, or no direct flights, or no frequent flights. So you should consider this connectivity issue if you're planning to relocate. Then if you have a family, of course, definitely you will consider that thing, whether a family visa is allowed. If you have children, their education should not be interrupted. So you need to consider all these things. So make a checklist and make sure where you want to migrate. Then definitely you need to consider new skill sets for new jobs. Coming to career options, you may list out your career options, right? So which all things you prefer to change. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry, give me 2 minutes.
Your screen sharing stopped.
Yeah, something happened. So let me open it again. Got stuck.
Sure. So viewers, Neeraja is fixing her screen sharing. She'll bring it back in no time. Please stay connected with us. I got a couple of messages asking what happened to the screen. So she's just bringing it back. Okay. Stay in touch. So while you're waiting for the session to come back, if you have any questions until now, please start sending it so that I'll keep them ready. And she's back.
Is it visible now?
Yes, it is. Please go on full screen mode.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Great.
I think
We're good to go. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay now. Okay, thank you, Sudhir. I'm really sorry for the interruption. So there is something happened and I got stuck. Okay. Okay. When we consider the career options, you need to list out your preferred career options. So now you can create a list of your preferred organizations and possible locations. You have to prepare it your own based on your needs. So when you should identify what sets of skills you need to learn in order to make a successful career transition, which are essential for your prospective career. You need to understand that. Sometimes you may need to reskill or upskill yourself because if you lack something, for instance, if needed, you start learning computer software applications or anything like that. If it is needed, you can start learning new languages, or you can refresh your language skills, or you can start modifying your drafting and other communication skills. If you need that, go for it. This is the time for it. Then higher education. Sometimes you may need to study further. It depends on your personal circumstances. So some people take a break before career transition and go for higher education. So if you're planning for higher education, just make sure whether you want to go for a full-time course or a part-time course or a local or international education, or whether you like to study online and work along with that, or go for offline mode. Then what do you need? You just need a certification course or a degree course, whatever it is. You need to decide it. And if it takes too long, like if you're planning to go for a master's for 2 years, or planning to go for higher education like a research course, make sure that you have enough financial backup. Then networking. I love to talk about networking. I always talk about networking, and in my last webinar, I was talking about networking and its importance. So people with professional networks has an added advantage, in employment market, because they are better connected with professionals and information. So here you can create a list of your professional contacts. What all contacts you have, you can create a list of them. Then also try to widen your networks along with that. Then make a list of people who could probably help you, who will be willing to help you. Can make a list of such people with information or with referrals, both. For example, you can approach people from your college seniors, sometimes your previous employees or of your company, then your previous colleagues. They are these people are probably they'll help you. We can assume that. So you should also use professional networking platforms like LinkedIn. This is a must. It'll help you than seeking out individually you are approaching people. This will be widen your network and give you ample opportunities. Also find mentors who will be able to advise or help you with transition and decision making. Then now, you have already done your homework. Now prepare for your transition and talk to your connections or talk to people who work in your preferred field. You can ask them for help, not asking job directly, but you can ask for suggestions. You can approach them and ask that I wish to do this work, or I wish to transfer my career. I wish for a career change, and how should I do that? What all steps I need to take? What upskilling or what certification I might be needing? So you can ask for suggestions. Then you may ask for help to take a decision, how to plan it. You can ask for that. Then if needed, go for training. If needed, go and language which is relevant for you if you're planning to migrate, or if you're planning to work in a particular sector. Then you can search for openings and make a list of your preferred organization where you wish to apply. Then definitely we need an action plan. Now we have completed your research. You have clarity on where to focus. So think about what will help you to reach there. You can utilize the opportunity that comes to you. Don't forget to update your CV and LinkedIn profile, because you need an updated version of your CV whenever you whenever you seek a new employment. You cannot use one particular CV and circulate it to everyone. You have to customize it. Okay, and of course need give necessary modifications to it. Then now one of the most important thing I must say, check your digital presence. People usually doesn't care about it. I don't know why, but it is crucial that how you appear on the internet. When you apply for a job, your potential employers are more likely to search for your internet presence. They'll just Google your name, and what you can do here, you can just do an ego search, which means just search your name in the internet and see what's there. Just be careful if there is anything potentially risky contents are coming out. Just be alert about it. And always keep your social media accounts formal and look professional, whether it is your personal platforms, like whether it is your chat box, whether it is Facebook or Instagram, whatever it is. Never share any potentially risky elements like polarized ideas or hate speech or anything on any digital platforms. Be aware of it. If you are actively looking for a job, actually you can share those contents, but there is risk. Beware of that. So it's an important thing. So I think it's a significant topic for everybody who is seeking employment. So I'm planning to do a detailed session on this topic sometime later. Then new ways of seeking employment. Along with jobs, jobs are changing. I have already mentioned that. The job searching has also changed over time. Nowadays, employee referrals are very common. I am sure that you you might have heard of employer referrals, which is, it's very common around the world now. Here, companies and organizations usually ask their employees to recommend candidates from their network. So here, it's employer referral is very important, and your networking is also significant in this case. So you can use you can follow advertisements, LinkedIn. Yeah, LinkedIn, of course, again, it's important. Then career consultants, you can approach career consultants for advice, for planning a career change, for getting information about job openings. Then also you may reach out to companies or organizations. They may not always publish they are taking your staff. So still you can take an initiative and contact the company. That's also the new normal. Then facing an interview. This is another important topic, like your internet presence and networking. So now you have done a lot of research, you have planned for a career change, and you are at the phase of an interview. So you can prepare just as you prepare for any other interview, but one thing you should consider, you should be prepared to answer these 4 questions. Why you need a transition? You need a reasonable answer for that. You have to provide it. Why you are fit for this particular job, this new job, you should answer for it. You must hold an answer for that. You should be prepared about it. Then what skills do you bring from your last job to here? That's another important question. Then the last and interesting thing, what is it that you did not like about your last job? But be careful when you answer this question. Try not to say anything bad about your previous job. It's better to give a neutral answer. So again, I'll be taking another session on this topic, which is really, really significant. Now, I have already mentioned about the 4th industrial revolution in the beginning of our session. But I must say automation is one of the key aspects of this stage, and almost every jobs are changing. Automation is happening everywhere. So in order to survive in such a circumstance, you have to make yourself competent, and you need to upskill yourself, and you have to be updated. You should be aware of the technological changes that are happening in your field. Along with that, be prepared to use technology and adapt with it. Don't be an alien. Otherwise, you won't survive in this particular phase. Then, friends, keep in mind that no transition is final. It'll be changing. Keep updated and prepared for it. And here I want to wind up. Thank you so much for listening. Now we can go for the discussion session. Sudhir, I think we can.
Yes. Yeah. So we will please thank you, Neeraja, for great insights on this topic. So I'm just looking at some of the questions that we got, and probably one of the very important question, like a lot of people think, like, when is it a good time to make a shift? So what is your suggestion, advice to them?
Okay, that's an interesting question, and it's very relevant also. So there is no such time actually, but I think it's always best to work at least for 2 years in your first job, before you leave that or switch your career, because it'll give you enough time to make professional networks. You can make your professional working environment. You can get used to it, how to behave in a particular professional working environment, how to be there, how to work it, then you'll get an idea about your strengths and weakness. But there are some other reasons, you may not be able to continue there, like you may have um, a lot of work pressure which you are unable to handle, sometimes harassment where the institution is not able to resolve it to your satisfaction. Then there will be some unprofessional situations, such as they're not giving you your salary, or the company is shutting down, or in such cases you should plan to leave as soon as possible. Thank you.
So an associated question connected with the first question. Does it look great, or does it look good if you have made frequent shifts?
Exactly. I have seen people, they work for 6 months in one company and go to another one, and then again within 1.5 years they they again change their company. So if you frequently change, it's not seen as positively, by your new employer, because they'll assume that this individual can change their mind again after another 6 months. But if you have a good reason, you should address it when you are there in an interview panel. Not an interview panel, when you're attending an interview, you should give a relevant reason why you changed. You should have a valid reason for that. So there is another dimension for this question, that there are people working for a long time in a particular organization, but I have already mentioned that this is a new age workspaces we are dealing with. So you don't need to stay for a very long time in one particular organization, such as you don't need to stay there beyond 5 years or 6 years. That's okay to stay there, but it's not seen as a merit nowadays. So it's like you don't make it too frequent, and you don't need to stay there for a long time. That's my answer for this question.
Okay. So Lakshmi has a question, an interesting question perhaps. Is it a good idea to switch jobs during a pandemic situation like this?
Our economy and the condition world is, there are companies are, shutting down. So people are looking for jobs. So I think, in my opinion, it's a risky condition. If you have a job, if you have a good salary, and if you haven't received any offer letter from a good company or good organization which assures you a job, or otherwise it's a risky thing. And there is no absolute answer for it, because you need to consider your personal circumstances as well.
Another interesting question. Of late, these days, a lot of organizations are coming up with schemes for women re-entering work. So they took a break due to family obligations, personal reasons, whatever it is. Women are known to, or rather forced to take breaks in their life from career. So what is your advice to a woman who's about to re-enter her career after a significantly long break?
Yeah, you can. There are women, actually it's a challenge for anybody who took a long break to re-enter the job sector. So women are facing such a challenge, I know, because of our social and social situation, So you can use the same, same way that I mentioned before. Like you can start a self-assessment, a skill assessment, you can start networking. You have to undergo reskilling, upskilling if you need. All these are relevant for women entering an employment market after a break, whether it is childcare or whether it is any other reason. So the steps are similar for everyone. Yeah.
Cool. So, interesting question. What if a switch fails? What is plan B?
Pardon? Can you repeat?
What if a switch fails? Somebody switched from job A to job B, and then he realized that job B is not what he wanted, or situations at job B is not as lucrative as he felt. So in that case, what should we do?
Okay.
Switch again, or?
Yeah, it's like you have to take, you have to consider many things, that your personal condition, like whether is it okay, is it affordable for you to change a job right now, or there is another thing, that how frequently you switch a job, that will give you a black mark in your CV when you approach another one. So see, you have to analyze what is the problem. If it is really unbearable for you, like if you have really great work pressure, and as I mentioned before, harassments, and salaries they are not providing salary, or they are breaking the agreement, or anything like, if there is anything like that, you have to immediately consider about job switch. Otherwise you have to think about it. Now you can plan for another job switch, but take your time. If there is no such emergency, take your time, do a good research, good background work, then only change to another job. That will be an intelligent decision. I think you already made a mistake, but you don't want to repeat it. So make sure that you planned very well, and try not to make a mistake. Making a mistake is not a problem actually, but reduce the risk.
So a lot of people these days want to go abroad. So is going for education abroad, the destination country, a good idea to be the first step if you want to move to another country? Do you think that route is interesting?
Going abroad would help you in your career, or going abroad for studies? Can you make it?
No. So you want to move abroad for a work, but then do you think taking a course in that country is a better idea to start with, and eventually help you land in a job there? That's the question.
Okay. So it depends on the individual, because it depends on your nationality and where you want to go. It varies with country to country. So if you go to a country and obtain higher education there, it will definitely make your way easy for getting an employment there or work permit in that country, because you're already there, right? And but it's not, they don't guarantee you anything. But compared to, you studied here in India and you want to migrate to UK or some other country, it's comparatively easy for a person who educated there to find a job there. But there is another scenario, like some qualifications, some local qualifications you can obtain there, and it'll help you with professional accreditations. Like if you study law, if you study medicine there, or if you want to be a psychologist in Canada, for example, you need to register there, right? So you can easily get accreditation from, their local accreditation if you study their course, their accredited course. So this is another scenario. So it'll be easy, but there'll be some conditions like whether the country accept you, also whether they have, if they have a good economy, you have more chances to get employed.
Got it.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that networking is one of your interesting areas. So there is a question around that. So how, I think you did a session about this before, but this question is very specific. How can you use LinkedIn and LinkedIn network for a shift, for a transition? How can LinkedIn help in a transition?
Okay, it's a big question actually. LinkedIn can help you in many ways. Like first of all, people ask me, I have a LinkedIn account, and can I get a job then? So the answer is no. It's all about how you engage in LinkedIn. It's like first of all, you need to create an appealing profile. I have mentioned in my previous webinar, it's about you make it appealing by, or created a formal profile there. So you need to put a formal photograph. You have to give a proper headline. You have to give a proper summary about what you have doing in your previous career, previous work, or previous career, what you're interested in. Are you currently available, or are you looking for jobs, or your interested fields, your keywords, your skills, all these things you can list out there. So this is what you can do in the beginning. Now you can make, you can start making connections with other people. You can search using keywords. You can find companies, you can find people, you can find researchers, professors, business persons, or you can find hiring managers, you can find mentors. If you want, you can get connected with those people. Then you can follow them, you can ask for suggestions. There are companies, almost every companies and organizations has their presence in LinkedIn. So you can follow them, and you'll see whether they have openings or not. You can approach people. You can be a part of LinkedIn groups. That's really that'll be helpful, because you can be a part of LinkedIn groups if you're interested in that particular topic. Then you can do one thing, like you can engage there. There'll be posts and discussions. You can comment there, you can engage there. So all these things are public. People will be watching you, and they'll find that you like it, and you are really interested in that field. You're enthusiastic, and you're a vibrant person. So this will be their perception about yourself. So this is how we can create an image there. Then you can do LinkedIn learning. You can learn there. There are personalized courses are available. So you can do that, and you can display the certificates. There are free and paid courses as well. So it's also visible on your profile. So when somebody look at your profile, they'll find that, oh yeah, this person is really interesting. They are really doing something, and he or she is a vibrant person. So they'll approach you if someone find your profile interesting. Even companies are there, companies and organizations are there. They have hiring managers. They're looking for potential employees. So they'll approach you if they find your profile is appealing and interesting. So this is how LinkedIn can lead you to to a better career, or help you with your career development. But all you have to engage there. You have to be active there. Just don't make a profile and close it down and just stay there. Don't do that. You have to engage there. You should update your profile as well. You have to say something if you have something. If you have publications, you can display it there, but don't lie there, because your LinkedIn profile acts as your resume. So if you lie there, your potential employers can always find it. These are public data, so you'll be caught.
Got it.
Yeah.
I have more questions for you, but do you want to take a water break or a WhatsApp break or something of that sort? Because I have a few more questions. You were talking for some time.
That's
Maybe
okay.
again.
That's okay. So
You're
there
okay?
we can take.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there are some new gen jobs, right? Like I have a friend who's a blogger, and then there are the social media influencers who make some money out of it. So if you go to YouTube, the very channel where we are talking, a lot of people are specializing on cooking, gardening, things like that. New gen jobs, right? And some of them are really making money out of it. Are these sustainable?
Yeah, this is also an interesting question, because it's kind of it's an emerging market, right? So we can we see a lot of people making money from YouTube, from TikTok and all. So because it's an emerging market, I cannot say that it will be sustainable, because there were people making money, a lot of money out of TikTok, but suddenly the government banned it and they become unemployed, or they have to shift their field to some other platform. So in such a situation, any new generation career, it can happen. So on the other hand, one make a lot more money in lot less time. So you have to learn how to manage their money, face their income. Then it's a short duration jobs. They are, it's like it's uncertain actually. So but compared to a long term job, it'll enable you to grab more money. So it's all about how you manage, how well you are adapting to the changes, and how well you are prepared to make a change, or to go for another step, to take another step.
Got it. We have a different question now. So we know that technology is enabling differently abled people a lot. Like especially AI is helping differently abled people a lot. But at the same time, we are also talking about this bias, right? I mean, the bias is built into the AI systems. So the question is technology, on the other hand, also alienating people, differently abled people, when they try for an opening?
Yeah, it's actually it's a bit complicated. It's a mixed up thing actually, because technology sometimes enables a person with disability. I cannot say a disabled person, but a person with disability. Sometimes it enhances their potential, and it helps them to adapt well. But sometimes, yeah, of course, technology alienates people with disability.
So
it has two phases, There are positives and negatives, yeah.
So another question is, we are talking about career transition, which also means not just a job change, but we are going into an entirely different line of work or industry, or and you have spent a substantial amount of time in one career, and then you want to switch to career B. But when we switch to career B, people are asking for professionals with experience. So won't we reset the entire thing and we end up in the bottom of the pyramid?
When you're planning for a complete change in career, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it's like, when you if you need to start any career, you need some set of skills. So if you're planning to switch your career entirely or completely, you need to start from the bottom. Of course, you have to you have to you have to use your transferable skills if you have any. You have to learn any technical skills if you need. Then you need to make new connections. You're entirely new to this field, so you have to make the connections. So you have to start it from the bottom, and you need better preparations.
So are there some careers which are very easy to change compared to some other careers?
It's like it depends. I'll explain it because there are like there are some professions. I told you that it's like any professions you need some sort of preparation to enter into it. So even if it is a profession which is you're already familiar with, you need you need a bit preparation for that. But there are, I mentioned in my presentation about technical and transferable skills and networks. So you need to use everything for a career transition or changing to any type of career. You can, we have film directors, so they don't have to do a particular certification or anything necessarily to do that job, but they need they might be need they have to get better connections, better networks, then only they can easily enter to the industry. Or they need a set of skills, but they don't need any certification or anything. But it's not the case in medicines. A doctor cannot practice, nobody can practice as a doctor if you don't have ample experience and certifications or approved by any government body. So it is different for each and every sectors.
That's an interesting question. Somebody says that I think Arun says he has met his financial aspirations or goals, and then he'd like to make a shift to a career that helps him do social work. What is your advice for him?
My advice.
How should he go about that?
Could you please repeat the question?
Yeah. So somebody wants to shift from so forget about the financial. Oh yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
So
please.
So you have achieved your financial aspirations. You have made your money, and then you want to do a social work to support people, empower people, and you want to shift to that. How can that be facilitated, or how should we go about that? A lot of people want to get into social work.
Is it about whether they whether they shift their career or not? Is that the question?
Yeah, yes, exactly. So from a day job or a job, you're moving to.
That's interesting, but it's strictly personal. If you have that financial stability and financial freedom to do anything, you can absolutely do whatever you want.
Maybe the question is, maybe he wants to shift to an NGO. So not NGOs are actually a perfect place for people who want some salary and some satisfaction.
Yeah.
So how should somebody, so NGO jobs maybe.
Okay. In NGOs you can work, even if you're an engineer, you can go to, I mentioned it, go to philanthropy. There are people who are working like that. There are people who are from Microsoft and Wipro working in NGOs and social service sector. So all you need is you have to gain work experience and networks. You have to find people to mentor you or find people working in that sector. You can approach them and ask for advice. Then you can start working in such sectors, like you can start volunteering. then you can gain experience, you can shift like that. But it'll be okay to move on, from a technical side or from any other job to an NGO sector, but it is not necessary to work in NGOs to do something for the society, but you can always start working with NGOs. So it's all about getting better connections.
Yeah. So another good question is, what is the age range? Like between what age to what age is all this possible, or is it advised?
Are you talking about transit, like job?
Yeah. Yeah.
Transition?
So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So up to what age? So question is, up to what age you can dare transitions?
Up to any age you can do this actually. If your environment, if your financial circumstances, if your health allows you, you can do it anytime, because there are a huge pool of expertise. A lot of people, retired people, aged people, they are uh, they are there. So they can use their skills even after retirement, or they can do something else even after retirement. So it's a kind of transition. You are working as an engineer or a technical expert, and now you are retired, but how to change it, how to start working again? They can be mentors, they can start writing something, they can do social services, whatever it is. They have their full potential, their expertise. We can also utilize it, or if they want, only if they want. But at any age they can, they can do this transition if they are willing and their circumstances allows them. That's the question. It's always strictly personal. Sometimes you may not have the health to do it, or sometimes your financial stability is not allowing you to do it, or you know uh, it depends, it varies from person to person. I think it is clear.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. If it is not clear, please send me the clarification that you are seeking, Mr.
Mhm.
Jojen. So another question for you, we have this term work life, right? Work
Mhm.
life and a career. So one question is, how do you prepare for work life when you're studying?
When you're studying,
Yeah, you're
uh,
anticipating.
I have a very generic answer to this question. This is really interesting. Actually, I don't know whether our youngsters, our college students, or university students, how many of them thinking about work life, or they're usually, I have seen a trend like they pass out, they do any kind of courses, then they pass out, and then they start searching for a job. Actually, you can pre-plan this. You don't need to fix that I'm going to do this particular job in this particular organization. You don't have to do that, but instead you can start networking. That's the core thing, I must say. You can start networking. What is your preferred field, what you want to do with your life. So you can start networking. You can, of course, when you start networking, when you connect with people, make it inclusive. You have to connect with people from other countries, from other states. Don't make it too, you know too limited. Don't connect only Malayalis, only from your uh, hometown or something like that. Make it inclusive, and everyone. Always look for opportunity and exposure. Also, there is a trend like, uh, especially in India, in Kerala, after +2 or higher secondary, you go to higher studies like a bachelor's degree. Maybe after that you find that, okay, there is no scope for this degree, or I have to learn much more. Then you go for a master's, then you go for a PhD, and then you go to you start doing a job which is only required a bachelor's degree. So this is not an ideal condition. So whenever you finish your college, try doing some work or go for a volunteering or go for an internship. Try to get work experience, and if needed, then you go to your master's or further studies or certifications. So also, beside that, do your networking and start connecting with people. So try to do a work, work somewhere away from your home, so that you'll meet people from different cultures. You'll get exposed to multicultural work environment. This will contribute to your career development. So all these things you can do, you can plan for it. And if you're studying molecular biology or something, if you are interested in that subject, I'm quoting an example actually. You go to take a LinkedIn account and go there and search for people who are working in that field, or organizations or institute. Then you can start networking there. You can join groups related field. Then you can be there, discuss there. So you'll get ample exposure to that subject, to that field. You can find that what all changes are happening around the world in that particular field. So this is what you have to know. Do networking, do a thorough research about that particular field of work, what's happening there, what changes are happening there, what skills you need to survive there, acquire that. Keep your, make your transferable skills polish, like your language, your communication skills and all. It'll be useful for every sectors, everywhere you go. It'll help you. So
I have two very interesting questions for you.
mhm.
One is, a lot of people switch a
Mhm.
job just for the money, nothing else. What is your take on that? Is that a good move? Just going after the salary part alone when you make a switch?
It's up to you. Entirely, it's up to you, because if you want
But will
money,
it help you in long run?
uh, why not? If that is your need and you're not doing any foul play, then what's wrong with it?
Okay.
You may change your mind, in future, or if you get, when you get older, you may change your philosophy, but then you need to, you have to switch your career according to that. That's it. If you're not playing, if you're not doing anything unfair, then your goal is to make money, then that's your personal philosophy. How can I comment on it?
Well, okay. So that was a question that came up. So another question. This is even more interesting question. So the question is, what if your career transition affects your significant other?
That's a relevant question, but I cannot say a generic answer. That's why I mentioned in my presentation that you should consider your family or your children or your personal surrounding when you decide something, whether to do a particular job, whether to migrate somewhere. You have a family, it's up to you whether you need to stay with them, or whether you can go away from them, or whether it affects them. It's all your personal matter, because if I have a family and my personal circumstance is different from someone else, from yours, right? So if I wish to be with my family, if I have other obligations, my decision will be favoring that condition. So maybe I'll feel like I should be with them. I should take them with me. So sometimes I feel like it's okay to go somewhere else or to do this job. It's okay to be busy with my job, or it's all about your personal preference. So if you need help to decide something like this, you may approach a mentor or someone who will be able to help you to decide it based on your personal priorities. There is no generic answer to any such questions. Thank
Got
you.
it. So I have two more questions to you. I told you I will ask you only two questions, but then very interesting questions. Two of them came up, and one of them is really interesting. So the question is very simple. You want to make a career shift for sure,
Yeah.
and you don't know what to do. What is your advice for them?
That's also, it also coming to your, it's also strictly personal.
Maybe you should do
Still,
this
you have
presentation
to,
again.
I think so. The whole presentation is the answer. So, but it's interesting question. Sometimes we'll be confused about what to do with our career or what should be our next move. So, I have mentioned about it actually already. Like, do a personal assessment. Like, what I actually want to do with my life. You have to ask this question yourself, right? Then you should think about what skills I have. So if you decide that what should I do next, then you have to assess your skills, whether I'm capable to reach there, whether I have necessary skills. If yes, then good, go for it. If you don't have, then learn it. That's what I meant by upskilling or reskilling or certification or further education or whatever it is. Then you need to, if you're fixed with that, or if you decided that where to go, which career I should choose, then you can search for people around you, whether there is anyone who's ready to help you or who is capable of helping you, or start networking. If you don't have anyone, if you don't have any organic connections, that organic connections means people you already know around you. If you don't have any organic connections, you start making it deliberately. Go and take a LinkedIn account or get connected with people and ask people to introduce you to someone else if needed. So you have to deliberately do that. But before that, you need to take that decision, what to do with my life or what to do next. Okay.
Yeah. So Arun, thank you, Arun, for many questions that you have given me, many interesting questions. So one of our viewers have a cool question. So he's asking, what is an age at which we should educate students or youngsters about career and future jobs?
That's really interesting.
What's your take on that?
I think what we do now for our kids, it's like usually I see, especially in India, we can see if you are studying in 12th standard, or if you just passed out 12th standard, or if you are if you have even done your master's or undergraduation, then you start thinking what to do, what next. But this is not the ideal situation actually. The student should be aware of career options. It should be comprehensive. You can start at any age. When you start, when a student start formal education, because they should be familiar about what all career options that are there. For example, for a 3rd standard student, what you can do, you don't have to tell her or him or them like you should be a doctor or you should be an engineer, but you can see that you can help them to see that there are these and these of a lot of career options are there. This is a doctor, this is what they do. This is a policeman, this is what they do. This is a this is another, this is an engineer, so this is what they do. So you can give a broader view on that. When they reach to their ninth standard or eighth standard or something, when they reach their teenagers, they'll be having some sort of interest, some sort of skills. Then we can facilitate them, like how to choose a career. We don't need to choose a career for them. We need to enable them to choose a career based on their interests, their skills, and available resources. This is what we can do. So it's a comprehensive package, I think.
Got it. So I think this was a very interesting conversation. Perhaps we got double the number of audience by now. So when we started, we were at some point, and now we have doubled the audience. So you did good. Thank you, audience, for being with us in this very interesting topic. One of these topics that we need to discuss more often, and maybe create more awareness. Some of the questions that came up reflected on the very fact that people want to change, but then they really don't know, or they're not confident on what next to go in that direction. So pertinent and relevant, and and thank you, Neeraja, for this wonderful session, and thank you, audience, for being with us and asking questions which were really relevant. I thank all of you for being with us this evening. Good night to all of you, and have a great week. Thanks. Thank you, Neeraja.
Thank you so much, Sudhir, for being with us. And thank you all for listening to
Welcome.
us. Yeah. There is a feedback form. So I think please fill that form and give your feedback. Thank you so much. I think we can wind up the session. Yeah.
Bye, guys.